And so I've got the chair here, and let's look at a few things with the chair. One is that when we're making cuts here, like I need an inset to be able to pull out this part right here. And so I can just go to KL for loop cut on this. And if I hold down shift, I get the, it's snapping to the quarters, which is pretty good, right? And so let's say I want this to be like 25% of the way in here. And so I can just come in and cut that there. But now I want this one over here to be 25% of the way in, sort of equal to this one. And you see when I hold down shift, what happens is a problem. It divides this 75% into quarters, which is not what we want. And so here, we actually want to divide this into the previous quarters. And so in the loop cut mode, I can dial this down. And now I get this and this, which would essentially be the 25% from before, right? Based on the quantized step, right? Quantize means sort of like dividing into equal amounts. And now I have two loop cuts that are exactly 25% from, sort of inset there, right? And so you can do this in using that mode or using the bevel center edge. Either way sort of gives you the same results, but now I know that those are exactly 25% of the way in. Now let's go ahead and look at some issues here with extruding this, right? And so if we want to create this part of the chair that sort of comes across kind of like this part here, I could come in and grab this right here. And then if I needed to, pull this over this way, what tool would we use for that typically? If I want to bring this over so that it forms like a lower support part of the chair. Right. Okay, so let's watch what happens when we extrude. If we hit D for extrude and pull this over, and let's look at what's happening. There's a few things. It's kind of coming over at a weird angle, one, and so it's not flat, and we see it's sort of overlapping over here. And so in this case, I want to make sure, extrude extrudes based on the normal angle by default, right? So the normal being the 90 degrees to the face of the polygon. And in this case, I want to just bring this straight over in world space. And so I'm not going to extrude. I'm going to use the copy drag, which is kind of like a straight extrude, right? Let's see if we can find one that's a little bit more obvious. Well, here, let me do this first. So hold down Control and then drag over here. And that now makes a perfectly straight across angle on this. Does that make sense, guys? Right? How that would be better in this instance, right? And so it's like an extrude without worrying about the normal angle. Because I'm set to world space up here, I can drag this directly across in world space. And so I can do the same thing over here, right? And so it's just that it's the same shortcut you use for copying objects, that control drag. But you can also do that for any other piece of geometry, points, edges, or polys. Make sense? Okay, so now let's clean up some things here. Let's talk about cleaning in general and checking the geometry. And so